It starts with a craving, not just for food, but for a feeling. You're driving down the I-10 or sitting at LAX when you spot it. The glowing yellow arrow, the clean red and white building, the line of cars spilling out into the street. They make a point of it. They pose with their trays. They order animal style like it's a secret handshake. They post on Instagram like they've arrived at a cultural landmark, not a drive-through. In-N-Out is a burger joint with the emotional pull of Disneyland, and it's not an accident.
Everything fresh, nothing frozen, that's no lie. That's what goes in it, in and out. That's what it's all about. In and out, in and out. That's what a hamburger's all about.
Part of what created the cult is scarcity. For most of its 75-year history, In-N-Out was only in California. It didn't go national, it didn't chase expansion. And when you can't get something everywhere, it becomes desirable everywhere. New Yorkers crave it. Texans used to road trip for it. Tourists schedule layovers in Los Angeles just to get a double-double. The company didn't market itself like other chains. It didn't need to. The limited access was the marketing. Then there's the simplicity. The menu has barely changed since 1948. Burger, fries, shake, done. And yet, but there's more. That secret menu everyone knows about, it's not on the board, but everyone talks about it. Animal style, protein style. Knowing it makes you feel like an insider. It's gatekeeping as branding, and it works. Even the look of In-N-Out fuels the cult. The spotless uniforms, the symmetrical red booths, the two crossed palm trees out front, a nod to a 1960s film the founder loved. It's not just nostalgic, it's a time capsule. While other chains pivot every few months to match trends, In-N-Out has barely touched its aesthetic in half a century. And beneath it all, a moral undertone. Every cup has a Bible verse printed in tiny letters on the bottom. Every burger wrapper, a subtle signature of faith. The family that runs In-N-Out are devout Christians. They don't push it, but they leave breadcrumbs. For many loyal customers, that quiet sense of values adds depth to the brand, makes it feel safe, grounded, different. You don't just eat In-N-Out, you trust it, you identify with it, you belong to it. That's not food service, that's tribal branding. And it's the first ingredient in one of the most powerful customer cults in America. There's a difference between being a customer and being a disciple. In-N-Out has managed to create something few brands ever achieve. Ritual. Not just buying a product, but participating in a repeatable, almost sacred experience. Every In-N-Out visit feels choreographed. You don't just order a cheeseburger, you order a double-double animal style with well-done fries and maybe a Neapolitan shake. You find your red tray, you take the photo. Burger unwrapped just enough, fries peeking out. The lighting has to hit the bun just right, and then it hits your feed. This isn't marketing, it's pilgrimage and proof. Even if it's your 10th time eating it, you treat it like a first. And if it is your first time, people will tell you how to order, what to try, what not to forget. They guide you through it like elders at a religious ceremony. You gotta go animal style. Don't forget the pepperoncinis. They're in the box by the napkins. You have to sit outside under the palms. It's food, yes, but it's also storytelling. And every In-N-Out customer becomes part of that myth. People share stories about driving 2 hours to the nearest one, about getting it the second they land in LA, about friends or family bringing back burgers from California frozen in Ziploc bags so they could have one more taste. There are even In-N-Out wedding cakes, secret menu tattoos, and themed baby showers. Try finding that level of emotional brand loyalty anywhere else in fast food. Then there's the physical layout, almost ritualistic in its own way. Crossed palm trees outside, open kitchen inside, workers in spotless uniforms, all moving in sync. The experience never changes. And that's the point. In a world that moves fast, In-N-Out is frozen in time. And that stillness creates meaning. It becomes a safe place to return to, a memory machine. a childhood favorite that never aged, never compromised, never sold out. Other brands try to create loyalty through discounts or app rewards. In-N-Out does it through consistency and emotional memory. It's not about customer retention, it's about cultural retention. And that makes every bite feel like a belief. Most companies would kill for the kind of hype In-N-Out gets. A brand this beloved, most CEOs would slap it on everything. Frozen patties in grocery stores, drive-thrus in every city, merchandise in every mall. But In-N-Out didn't scale that way. In fact, they did something almost no one else in the fast food world would dare. They slowed down, intentionally. Since 1948, In-N-Out has expanded to just over 400 locations. That's less than some regional pizza chains. Why so few? Because the company refuses to open any store they can't directly supply with fresh ingredients within one day. No frozen patties, no third-party distribution, no compromises. They own their own meat facilities, bake their own buns, drive their own delivery trucks. And they own the land their stores sit on. No leases, no landlords, no pressure. Every move is deliberate, every new location. A carefully timed expansion, usually announced years in advance. In 2023, they revealed plans to move into Tennessee. For In-N-Out fans in the Southeast, it was like Taylor Swift announcing a surprise tour stop. And because they've never overexposed the brand, every new opening feels like an event. People camp out overnight. Lines wrap around the block. Local news covers it like a royal wedding. That's not hype. That's scarcity, executed with surgical precision. Now here's where the money comes in. Despite growing slower than nearly every major competitor, In-N-Out pulls in more revenue per store than McDonald's, Burger King, or Taco Bell. The average In-N-Out brings in $4.5 million per year, with a stripped-down menu, minimal advertising, and zero third-party delivery. And unlike other chains, they don't franchise. They don't sell ownership. Every store is company-owned, meaning every dollar earned goes back to the company. It's the exact opposite of the modern scale-fast startup model. No growth hacking, no private equity, no brand dilution, just tight control, consistent product, and cult-level loyalty. While competitors compete to win the fast food war, In-N-Out is playing an entirely different game, one of patience, purity, and profit. They're not everywhere, but that's the point. When you don't chase attention, you create longing. And when people finally get a taste, they treat it like gold. In-N-Out isn't anti-growth, it's just anti-hype. And somehow that's made it one of the most quietly powerful brands in America. Most brands ask for your business. In-N-Out asks for your belief. And that's the final piece of the puzzle. What elevates this from a fast food brand into something closer to a faith? It starts at the top. In-N-Out is still family-owned. No board of directors, no outside investors. Just one family, 3 generations deep, with a mission that hasn't changed since 1948. Today, the company is run by Lindsay Snyder, the granddaughter of founders Harry and Esther Snyder. She inherited the company at 35 and has never once shown interest in taking it public. No IPO, no franchising, no deals with private equity. When she finally gained full ownership, she said, "My passion is maintaining what we have, not becoming the biggest." And that belief shows up in every detail. Like how every cup and burger wrapper features a hidden Bible verse. Never advertised, never explained. Just quietly there. Or how employees at all levels are paid far above industry standards, with real paths to management and even 6-figure incomes. Or how the company maintains a no-debt policy, funding all growth with cash, not capital markets. These aren't business decisions. They're values-based decisions. And in an era where brands often feel like faceless corporations run by spreadsheets and A/B testing, In-N-Out feels personal. It feels like someone still cares. Even when the company has to make hard calls, like slowing expansion or refusing to do delivery or ignoring global demand, they stick to their beliefs. And that consistency creates trust. Trust that the burger will taste the same in 20 years. Trust that the values will remain intact. Trust that they'll never sell out because they've had every opportunity to and didn't. That's rare. And in a world where most brands chase relevance, In-N-Out earns reverence. This is what makes the cult possible. People don't just love the food, they believe in the company. And when belief enters the equation, logic leaves. Suddenly, people are driving 2 hours for lunch, getting tattoos of palm trees and secret menus, defending In-N-Out in online comment sections like it's a religion. Not because the burgers are perfect, but because the brand feels pure. In-N-Out didn't just win with flavor, it won with faith. There's a reason In-N-Out has never needed loyalty programs, deep discounts, or celebrity endorsements. The obsession is the business model. While other fast food chains spend millions trying to manufacture hype, In-N-Out does almost nothing and ends up with more of it. Why? Because it never tried to be everything to everyone. It just stayed true. True to the same menu, true to the same values. True to the belief that growth should never come at the cost of the customer experience. And in doing so, they built something rare, a fast food chain that doesn't feel like a corporation. It feels like a memory. The first bite you ever had, that late night drive with friends, that summer in California. People don't line up for the cheapest burger. They line up for something that feels real in a world full of fakes. That's the genius of In-N-Out. It made its limitations into legends. It made scarcity into status. It made simplicity sacred. And all of that devotion, all that loyalty, the tattoos, the fan art, the 2-hour drives, it translates into something very real. Profit. Quietly.